Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to our holiday wellness webinar from PrimeHealthRN. Uh, Good to see everybody. So we just wanted to get together and give you guys some helpful tips. The holidays are very stressful. There's a lot on your plate, and we just want to give you guys some tips on how to manage all this. Like, what are some things that we can do practically to sort of relieve some of that stress around the holidays? Just a little bit about us. My name is Amanda Rogers Beckley. I'm a board certified nurse coach. I've been in nursing for 20 years, and I am the founder of Prime Health RN. We also have Marilyn McMillan, who is also a nurse coach, and Amanda Wilson, also a nurse coach. They're all members of Prime Health RN, and we are glad to bring this content to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive in and get started. My topic for tonight is managing expectations. So I want you all to think about the last time you said yes to something based on a last minute request. How did you feel after you were done completing whatever task you were asked to do? Did you feel great? Did you say to yourself, why did I say yes to that? Because often we do the second thing. We regret it, right? So did you know that we often say yes to requests because we are afraid of what other people will think of us if we turn them down? That's what we're basing our decisions off of. And we often do this more often with people who are just acquaintances because we don't have a solid relationship with those people. And we are afraid of what their impression of us will be if we say no. So what are they going to think? What kind of person are they going to think I am if I say no to whatever request they're asking me to do? And we tell ourselves, what will this person say to other people about me? Oh, she's lazy. Oh, she's just too busy. Oh, she just doesn't care. These are all the things that we tell ourselves, this little inner voice, when we say no. So how can we overcome this fear and manage expectations when people are asking us to do things? So the first thing I want to highlight is what's called a stadium proposal. You guys have all seen the sporting events where they've got the camera on this couple and he goes down on one knee and opens a little box. And there she is on the Jumbotron in front of 1 million people, now forced to make a decision. And what do we all expect? We all expect for this person to say yes, because that's what we would do if we were in that position. There's so much pressure, right? So when somebody's asking you a request, oftentimes they'll make the request in a time or a place that's going to put you on the spot. Are they asking you to make a decision right now? I need your answer right now. Or are they asking you in front of other people, especially if it's in a social group, or maybe say in front of your coworkers? Like, hey, can you host this thing? Can you host the holiday party? And they've asked you in a staff meeting in front of 20 of your coworkers. You're really on the spot there. So it forces you to make a decision when you're not prepared to make a decision, puts you on the spot. And sometimes you feel like you have no choice but to say yes. The other thing I want us to think about is how much impact is my yes going to have on the person making the request? Is it going to make a huge impact on their lives? Or is it just a menial task? Did they ask you to pick up some milk? Okay. Is the request easy for you? Or is it hard for you? If I pick you up some milk, is it like on my way home and I can drop it off at your house because you're my neighbor? Or do I have to go an hour out of my way to bring you that milk? So as you're thinking of those things, we need to think of what's called the hero's journey. And the hero's journey means if the person asking me to do something is asking me to do something that's going to significantly change their lives, even if it puts a burden on me, then maybe I should say yes to that. because the impact on their life is huge. But if it's just a gallon of milk and it's going to put me an hour out of my way, maybe I shouldn't say yes to that, right? And then the third thing I want us to think about is, how am I going to feel if I say yes to this? If I say yes to that gallon of milk, but then once I've dropped it off, I see that everybody in the house was just sort of sitting around relaxing. Am I going to feel angry? Am I not going to talk to my neighbor because I'm mad at them because they made me go all out of my way to get this gallon of milk? Am I going to feel frustrated? Am I going to resent them? Because I've said yes and I don't really want to say yes, but I felt obligated to say yes. So one way that psychologists like to frame this when you have a request that's brought to you is to think of that request like a stinky bag of garbage. Okay. As soon as you say yes, that is your stinky bag of garbage. So is it worth it to you to say yes, to deal with this stinky bag of garbage? And are you willing to do this and not resent the person who's asked you after you're done dealing with it? Because sometimes those are hard asks. And is the person who is asking for your help asking out of genuine need? Do they really need your help? Or are they asking you because they are enabled by your yes? Sometimes people just don't want to do it and they know you'll do it, so they ask you when they could actually do it themselves. If you help them now, is it going to cause them to ask you to do the same thing another time because they've become dependent on you? And I like to compare this to my kids folding their laundry. Mom, I'm tired. I can't do it. I don't know how to fold this shirt. Okay. I understand that they don't want to do it, but if I always say yes and I give in, they're never going to learn how to fold their laundry, and I'm going to be stuck folding their laundry when they're 25 years old. So in order to actually help them, I need to say no. Okay, so how do we give a meaningful no? We don't want to do something, but we also don't want to say no. How can we juggle this conundrum? Sometimes we won't say no, or we will say no, but we say no, but. So I want you to know that's not a no, that's a yes. So if you say no, but if you really want me to, you just said yes. You did not say no. So make sure if you're saying no, that you're actually saying no. The other thing is, maybe don't give them an answer immediately. We talked about that stadium proposal when they're putting you on the spot. It's okay to tell the person, you know what, I really can't answer your question right now. I need to check my schedule, or I need to check with my spouse. I need to see if I have the resources to be able to say yes to this. And that gives you the opportunity to then go to a place where you're alone, you're not on the spot, and you think through what the request is and if you really want to say yes or no. So when you go back, if you say yes to it, you haven't said yes just out of peer pressure. Another thing to ask yourself is this a heck yes for me? Because if the person asking you asks you something and inside you're like, ugh, that's not a heck yes, that's a heck no. So that will help you prioritize your time and your energy to focus on the things that are the most important to you. And my advice is, if it's not a heck yes, then it's a heck no. And follow that gut instinct. I can give you an example of this. My kids are involved in an extracurricular activity, and they were asked to sell things on the weekends on Saturday. And my husband, of course, said yes, and then volunteered me as well. And I was so resentful of this activity then, I almost pulled them out because I did not feel comfortable taking my kids to sell stuff on a Saturday, the only time I had free with them. So in that instance, I probably would have said no. Another helpful tip is maybe write down some personal policies. So this gives you time ahead of time to think about the things that you're willing to commit to and the things you're not willing to commit to. And once you have these personal policies, if somebody asks you something, then you can say, actually, I don't I have a personal policy that I don't do those things. I can make a personal policy that says, I don't feel comfortable teaching my kids to be salesmen. So we're not going to do that. Another thing that we can do is called an empowered no. Okay. So how you say no matters. Don't say I can't. Instead, say I don't. So answering with an I don't will help people understand that your no is based on your beliefs and not just a lack of time or resources. And it will cause you to get less resistance and negotiating from them. It communicates that your no is not based on an excuse. So for instance, if I say, I can't loan you $100 because I'm saving up to pay for my kid's school trip, then in 6 months, that person is going to say, oh, you know what? I bet her kid has gone on that school trip, so she may have that $100 now. Instead, I need to say, you know what? I don't loan money because I have a personal policy against loaning money to friends. You said no, but you've also explained to them that you just have a belief about that. They're not going to come back to you in 6 months and ask you for money. They're just going to skip right over you, and you don't ever have to deal with that again because they know your personal policy about loans. So as you enter the holiday season, I want you to take all these tips and I want you to feel empowered, not just to say no, but give people a meaningful no. You don't want to be rude about it. You don't want to be pushy and like, no, we're not doing that. We're not being mean. We're just expressing that, you know what, I have a busy schedule and I don't have time around the holidays to help you plan the work party because maybe you already have obligations, and that's okay. I want to give credit here to a psychologist. Her name is Vanessa Patrick. She wrote the book, The Power of Saying No, The New Science of How to Say No That Puts You in Charge of Your Life. Highly recommend. This stuff has been researched, so this is not just advice. This is all based on research that she has done for years on how do we effectively manage our expectations with other people. So that is my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Next up, we have Amanda Wilson. And Amanda, you want to give people a little introduction?
Yes, and thank you, Amanda, for talking to us about something that truly isn't learning how to say no and the power of no over the holiday season isn't something that would be at the forefront of my mind. So thank you for shedding some light on that. I really appreciate that. And the second you started out with, have you ever felt like you say yes and then you resent it right away? That's just been the story of my life lately. So thank you for sharing that. So my name is Amanda as well. I've been a registered nurse for almost 8 years, and those entire 8 years up until this last one, I specialized in cardiovascular disease. So I worked in a variety of settings, which ultimately led to some pretty extreme burnout. After 7 years of nursing, I just practiced what we kind of call our sick care traditional healthcare model. And that's what's inspired me to really seek out nurse coaching. And I finished up with these ladies at the beginning of the year. And it's really just been amazing to practice preventative care and truly emphasize a holistic approach to health and wellness after really kind of approaching it from the opposite end, practicing sick care for my entire nursing career. So it's been really inspiring. It's been one of the best things I've ever done. And I do want to shed some light on nurse coaching, what's different about it, why are we so awesome? And that's because we combine the traditional art and skills of health coaching with years of clinical expertise and experience. And we empower our clients to take charge of their health while making sure, and this is the big one, that they truly feel seen and heard. because I'm sure everyone has experienced going to maybe a therapist, a dietitian, nutritionist, even a doctor at your physician's office and not feeling truly seen or heard. We celebrate the amazing things that our clients are already doing, and then we identify areas of opportunity to focus on. And all the while, we're implementing small, attainable habits that really compound over time to make impactful change. So, in a nutshell, that's what nurse coaching is. And I hope you can experience a little bit of it as I dive into my segment of this call, which is beating holiday sluggishness. So I really work with clients on nutritional wellness as well as mindset as they embark on just their transformational journey with their health. I work with a lot of clients who are seeking weight loss, but we go beyond the weight loss. We celebrate non-scale victories as well as empowering people, building confidence in that big mindset component, that mental component that comes along with a health transformation. So we all know the holidays bring so much indulgence, the desserts, the heavy meals, late nights, maybe having your family around brings you some stress. You have a packed schedule, and it just really, the holidays are certainly one of the most wonderful times of the year, but also a lot of us feel drained and just really stretched thin during these times. And then kind of that cycle of inactivity and overindulging and stress, maybe not sleeping as well, just leads to overall sluggishness and burnout over the holidays. And on top of that, we have the social media component and the internet telling us what we should be doing this time of year. And it all just gets really heavy. It's really easy to fall into these comparison traps and maybe chase after someone else's goals rather than listening to yourself and your body and reminding yourself of what's truly important to you during this time of year. So if any of this resonates with you, I'm here to tell you that the holidays do not have to derail your health goals, and we'll definitely break this down. But before we do, I would like for everyone to get energized together. And if it's okay to do so, if everyone wants to stand up, just because I feel like we spend so much of our days sitting and staring at a screen. So one thing I like to do is get super engaging with my clients, even though it's on a video call, we can definitely get creative. So I want you to stand up nice and tall in your space. And I want you to stretch your arms overhead and inhale. Feel a nice long stretch. And exhale, and if you can, slowly just reach for your toes. I'm gonna go down here too. And dangle as you can. Go where it's comfortable for you. And then slowly roll up. Avoid dizziness. Exhale. Now I want you to take your arms and do circles. 3 big ones one way. And 3 big ones the other way. Yeah. And then finally, I want you to march in place or jump in place for about 10 seconds. Really move that body. Okay, so we just did, you can stop whenever you're ready or keep going, whatever pleases you. We just did literally 60 seconds of movement. And in that time, we improved blood flow. We probably instantly gained some energy. I don't know if you felt that, but that's about what I'm about to dive into today and how small things can really make a difference. So now that I've had you energized, reawakened on this Sunday evening, I'm going to talk about 3 simple ways to really combat that holiday sluggishness. So the first one is, and thank you everyone for participating in my exercise. The first one is starting with hydration. So this may sound really simple, and yeah, we know the physical benefits of hydration, but do you actually know that it has mental benefits as well as metabolism benefits? So if we are even the slightest bit dehydrated, that can affect our cognition. It can make us feel sluggish and cause brain fog. And also dehydration can actually masquerade as hunger. So sometimes when we're dehydrated, we can maybe crave certain things, overeat, feel fatigued. So those are those mental and metabolism components that come along with dehydration. Staying hydrated can curb those cravings, can help wake you up and give you a nice boost at the start of your day. So two really simple tips that I like to share when it comes to staying hydrated are begin your day before you grab anything. Shortly after you get up out of bed, begin your day with 1 or 2 glasses of water. Before you grab your coffee, your tea, whatever you like in the morning, try and drink 1 or 2 glasses of water. And that really sets a positive pace for the rest of your day when it comes to hydration. And then secondly, carry that reusable water bottle with you literally wherever you go, home, work, office, errands, grocery store, wherever you go in your car, have it on you, because you'd be surprised at just how much small sips throughout the day really add up to. So not aiming for any specific ounces of water, just simply aiming to increase in a way that's sustainable for you. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, move after meals. So what we just did, post-meal movement actually really significantly lowers or can impact in a positive way your blood sugar. And when you think about it, at the holidays, we're overindulging typically in things that are very carb heavy and sugar forward. Those things can definitely raise our blood sugar and cause us to ride this roller coaster that leads to sluggishness. We feel our best when we can have sustained, steady blood sugar and steady energy throughout the day, not riding these peaks and lows, which is what oftentimes the holiday brings. So, moving after a meal, 5 to 10 minutes is all it takes to have a significant impact on those blood sugar levels. It also helps with digestion, and it really helps prevent that food coma feeling you can get after you eat. So again, 5 to 10 minutes. And a really good way to get creative about this, because I had a client recently tell me, like, it's kind of cold outside where I'm going in November, and I don't always love to walk outside. So she is actually going to like she has little dance recordings that she's going to do in her room, and she's going to dance after her meals for 5 to 10 minutes. Turn on your favorite holiday song, move your body, short walk around the block, or even get creative. Things like jumping jacks or air squats. If you want to plank, wall sit, get creative, move your body for 5 to 10 minutes after you eat. And I promise you will feel the positive effects from a digestive standpoint as well as an energy standpoint. And the goal is just to move. No perfection here, just moving your body after your meals. Tip number 3, add a veggie. I don't know about you, but I realized, and this may be sad, and Camille, you're probably going to cringe when I say this. I realized for years, my family never incorporated, and we're very we love veggies, but we never incorporated veggies in our holiday meals. It was all casseroles and pies and turkey and ham, and really the closest thing to a vegetable we had were probably the green beans and the green bean casserole. So this
I
year,
have a quick question.
yes,
So
yes,
you're
sorry, I
telling
didn't see
me
your hand.
sweet potato casserole does not count as a veggie?
I don't know about you, but the sweet potato casseroles we have around Thanksgiving are like a dessert.
Yeah,
So, yes,
kidding.
adding in
No,
a
I get it.
vegetable to your holiday meals. This is so important because we know veggies are packed with fiber. Fiber, again, balances your blood sugar, and it's going to even out those more carb heavy, sugar heavy foods that you're going to be eating around the holidays. Again, it's going to help with digestion, and it's going to help you feel satisfied, feel fuller longer. So I, again, encourage you to get creative. What does this look like for you in your household? So maybe you make a big fall harvest salad that goes with your lineup of food, or maybe you roast carrots or Brussels, you have some nice roasted veggies, or even add raw veggies to a charcuterie board or a cheese board if you're having one of those out. Get super creative and throw in some nice veggies in there and get some nice fiber in with these holiday meals. So those 3 tips are really simple but really impactful ways to combat sluggishness over the holidays. And again, I'll review them. It's hydration, post-meal movement, and adding veggies to your holiday meals. Again, they're going to all help steady your blood sugar regulation. That's key to just feeling energized and feeling your best. And I want you to just reflect on all three of these and just pick one that resonates best with you. One that you feel you have the biggest area of opportunity to maybe focus on or improve on over the holidays. Which one of those stands out for you? Again, this is bringing it back to just taking small steps at a time, not making it overwhelming. And that's how you truly create sustainable and lasting change. So pick one that resonates with you and try to implement it over the holidays, see how you feel. And again, tying it back to nurse coaches and why we're so awesome. We celebrate your small wins. We focus on areas of opportunity and then we help you take action. And the biggest thing I like to highlight is we work with you and with your lifestyle, not against it. And this truly helps create sustainable and lasting change and helps you cultivate that life that you actually enjoy and you want to stick with. So, again, remember small, consistent actions lead to big results. It's not about perfection, it's progress. Just start somewhere. Take messy action, listen to your body, and most of all, be present during the holiday with your family and friends and loved ones. And Amanda, thank you so much for letting me speak on this. It's something I'm truly passionate about, and creating non-restrictive, sustainable, lifestyle for others is something I truly love to do because I've seen the impact it can have. And I thank you again for letting me speak.
Thank you so much, Heather Amanda. I am still
Absolutely.
having my sweet potato casserole, but I will have a salad, I promise.
Oh, me too. Me too. We have all the usual lineup, but this year we're adding in roasted Brussels and a big fall harvest salad. And then I always throw some veggies on the charcuterie board too. But yeah, it's a way to, again, not feel restricted, to still enjoy the things you like, but also start to cultivate and create some balance in there as well. So we're not like, oh, just I know the feeling, just feeling completely out of sorts and out of our element in the holidays because we're surrounded by all this yummy food.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda
Thank you.
Wilson. So now we're gonna move on to Marilyn McMillan. I see Camille says grace over guilt. That's absolutely right. That's what we do, right? We don't give you a guilt trip as nurse coaches. We empower you to make better decisions. So Marilyn is coming to us from the Boston area. Marilyn, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Marilyn McMillan, and I'm a board certified nurse coach. I've been a nurse for way, way too long, 46 years this year, and have enjoyed my whole journey very much. Nursing was good to me. I loved connecting with people and seeing what I could do to change people's lives for the better. And that's what interested me in nurse coaching, was that I was at a point in my life where I wasn't quite sure where I should be. I knew it wasn't the hospital anymore. Doing home visits or outpatient clinics, none of that really appealed to me. But when I saw the opportunity for nurse coaching, I realized that it would be a wonderful way to spend some of the last years of my career and still being connecting and helping folks in multiple, many ways. The best thing about it at all has been meeting the other nurse coaches and everybody that was in my program, and then more people that I've met along the way. Just the most fantastic professionals I have ever met in my whole life. Their hearts are all in the right place, and their kindness, their loving kindness and acceptance of people, no matter what background or where they come from, is just amazing. So I'm in wonderful company. I'm honored to be in this company, and I'm honored to actually, be able to speak to you tonight. Amanda, that was amazing. That was both Amandas, Amanda 1 and Amanda 2. There was, both of you did a fantastic job, and I really loved the idea of taking small steps. Because I think being the holiday season, it's as overwhelming for most people as it is just who we're going to see, Some people will look forward to, some people we may not, the stressful situations we get into, and we worry a lot about that coming up. But knowing that we can take small steps like including a vegetable or walking a little after a meal can make a huge difference on the way we feel. If we feel good, then we're a lot more able to gracefully accept whatever comes during the holidays, whether it be good or positive or negative. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about sleep, which is probably another thing that is significantly impacted during the holidays. And for a lot of us, it's something that is, gives us problems all of our lives. Adults, there's about, research says about 20 to 40% of adults described having some type of sleep disorder. And when I started to look at the research, I was amazed that there are approximately 80 different sleep disorders. So obviously tonight we will not be talking about the 80 sleep disorders, and we're not going to go into detail about every disorder that could be present and what you could do about it, but mostly we're going to concentrate on tips for how to calm your mind and put yourself in a better position when you do go to sleep, so that you're able to sleep as well as possible. They say that most adults should have about 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night, maybe 7 to 9 for some. Some people need a little bit more, and the sweet spot is around 7 hours. And we know that sleep is a cornerstone. It's really important cornerstone for good health, because if we don't have the sleep that we need, where our body really needs to do what it needs to do, specifically our brain, when we're sleeping, recharge and sort of get rid of some waste and things that occur in the brain, and help us to be more awake and be able to concentrate and active and feel good during our waking hours. So it's really an important thing. I think we all know how we feel when we don't have sleep, and it's a really, what a drastic comparison. People who don't sleep and over a long term have sleep problems, they can have things like depression, mood disorders, also diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is much more prevalent in people that don't get enough sleep, obesity, increase in blood pressure, and other cognitive problems. Particularly for older adults, a lack of sleep can lead to some really, really significant cognitive impacts. So it's important for all of us to get the sleep that we need. Also, the research has shown us that if people don't sleep properly, it can account for about 12 to 35% of early deaths. So, so it is an impactful thing that to our health, and also to the way we feel and go about our, self during the normal waking hours. We all know too that different sleep patterns, like all of the nurses understand this, and firefighters and police officers, of working nights and rotating shifts, how that really messes with your circadian rhythm, and how it really can cause some long-term impacts. Sometimes there's no way we can avoid it, so we need to adjust to, whatever we have. But for the most part, there's some great tips. Many of you probably heard some of them, to help us sleep or prepare for sleep, so that we can get the best sleep possible. And so I'm going to share with you a few of those tips. Some of them I bet you've heard about. I think almost every person who's read an article about sleeping or sleep hygiene, I want to say, knows that they always tell you to ditch the devices, right? So always want you to get rid of the phones in the bed, the television, the iPad or your laptop, because of the blue light, which can also mess up with your melatonin and your sleep cycle, but also just the way it makes your mind work. Because when you're looking, those devices are meant to awaken you and make you think and make your brain start to work. So if you continue to use them right up into your bed, then that can also do the opposite. It's not going to relax you. It's going to get your brain more stimulated, making it a lot more difficult to calm it down and get some sleep. So best not to try to bring your laptop into your bed or your phone by your bedside, because that's it could possibly cause some problems. Also, they say create routines for your sleep. So in other words, if you're going to bed at about the same time every evening and waking up about the same time the next day, that tends to help you get into a good routine, and a sleep schedule was also can help with a better sleep at night. If you have a late night, that's not a problem occasionally. So let me say and speak to the fact that most of us will have some sleep difficulties on an occasional basis. That's not unusual, and that doesn't mean that there's something wrong. But in order to prevent that from becoming a routine, we want to take some of these tips and see if we can use those to get better night's sleep. So create a routine, keep a gratitude list. Some people say that they like to end their day, rather than end their day, especially nowadays, with a news show on all the political upheaval or all the horrible things happening in the world, or end your day on a positive note. Maybe I like to look at, if I am using my laptop, I like to look at little puppies and kittens and little videos of people and their animals. Or babies or something like that, anything that's enjoyable, that makes you feel happy and gives you a good feeling. Some people like to meditate. There's tons of apps that can help you with getting ready for your sleep, and with meditations, listening to music, and also breathing. So breathing is wonderful. Breathing is with us. Our breath is with us no matter where we go. And it's a great, great tool for calming our nervous system, and also decreasing your heart rate and getting you into a better position for a good night's sleep. So whatever type of breathing you want to do, you can do that. Just some deep breaths in and out, and maybe repeat it 7 or 8 times before you go to sleep. Progressive muscle relaxation is another possibility that you can use along with the meditation or separate from it. And progressive muscle relaxation is when you lay in bed or in a chair, but I like to do it in bed, and you go from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, your toes, and you tighten the muscles. So you can tighten your muscles around your forehead and your face, and then relax, and then move down your body, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, all the way until you get to the bottom, and then release. So it's a matter of just contracting and then releasing. And when you're done with that, you can kind of feel your body almost kind of like sink into the mattress or the chair or wherever you're doing it on. And it does make a huge difference in helping your whole body to relax. So that's another part of it. So because we're combining those elements of both mind and body, which are like Amanda said, with getting up and moving, digestion, there's your body, but it also awakens your mind and your concentration and makes you feel alive. So we can always put in more than one, use more than one tip to aim at a different part of your body, whether it be your brain, your mind, your physical self. Also, you could get out of bed if you do have a problem with sleeping for a night. If you find that you're having real trouble sleeping and you're tossing and turning in bed, a good suggestion, almost all the sleep experts say, do not stay in bed. And I think the reasoning from what I've read behind that is that if you stay in bed and you can't sleep and you toss and turn, then that kind of sets your mind that the bed means you're not sleeping. You're restless. It makes you, so staying there and tossing and turning is not going to help you then be able to relax and go to sleep. So they suggest that you get up, go to the kitchen, get a glass of water, drink a little bit of warm milk, have a little chamomile tea, or just read a book, sit quietly for a while. Anything you want to do that kind of will continue to relax your body. When you feel sleepy, if you're reading a book or a passage or whatever, and you start to feel sleepy, then that's the time to head back to bed. So they do suggest that don't, in other words, try to fight the restlessness by, making yourself stay there in bed and toss and turn. So we talked about the screen time and scheduling, some time for, gratitude and trying to get the day out of our minds and concentrate on something else. Um, the other thing that I found that was an incredible tip, and I found this on a nutrition facts.org on one of the podcasts that they were doing on sleep, and it was really fascinating. So I didn't know this, but here's a holistic tip for helping you deal with not being able to sleep or having trouble sleeping, and that's by using something very simple, and I wonder if most of you will know what this is. It's a Latuca sativa. I don't know if anybody knows what Latuca sativa is, because when I heard it, I thought must be some kind of, I thought it was marijuana at first because of the sativa part of it, but it turns out it's not. It turns out it's exactly what my friends Camille and Amanda and all of you folks I know you love. It's a vegetable. Lettuce. It's lettuce. So Latuca sativa is lettuce. And lo and behold, researchers did some study on lettuce to see if they used lettuce seed oil, and they did a research study, and they found that because in the lettuce leaves themselves, there is a substance, it's like a hypnotic, and the substance is called lactucin. I say that right, it's with a C-I-N, lactucin. And this lactucin, they tried in different experiments in lab rats and other animals, and found that it did create better sleep. There's a bit of a hypnotic in it. So they said they were going to try it on some adults. So they did a study, and 70% was 72% of the adults that versus the people that took the 20% of people who took the placebos had placebo. I'm sorry, let me go back to this. Let me restart that. So 70%, 72% of the adults reported improved sleep versus the 20% of the people that used the placebo who reported that they had better sleep. So there was obviously something there to that. And so they say now you can eat lettuce. I suppose you could sit and eat a bunch of lettuce at bedtime. But they also apparently have lettuce seed oil. I haven't tried any of these things, so I can't tell you, but it's an interesting fact that I just found out. So I thought I'd share it with you. And if you find that it works, let me know. We'll have a lettuce eating party before bedtime. So the other thing that they suggest too is things like tart cherry juice, warm milk, they say, and you've heard that from your grandmother probably, and her mother, and as far back as you can remember, because the tryptophan that apparently gets in the way of serotonin production, and that's why that helps you sometimes get to sleep. Chamomile tea, anything warm like that, as long as you're not using anything with caffeine in it, like the black teas and things like that. I imagine green tea, if it doesn't have caffeine, some sort of green tea, uncaffeinated, would be fine. So those are all tips that you can use instead of turning to medication, because we know with all the medications, they have side effects, and especially with pregnant women. Pregnant women, by the way, also have high reports of problems with sleep. And if you have been pregnant, I don't know if you all have, but if you have been or known somebody who's been pregnant and complains a lot about not being able to sleep, well, it's uncomfortable, first of all, because the baby can be pressing on organs and your diaphragm and making it difficult to find a comfortable position. But some of the reports were that when a lot of pregnant women were complaining about this, that they would be given Ambien by the doctors to sleep. And Ambien is a real no-no in pregnancy. It really, I don't know why doctors would prescribe it. They would say to use it just, for a couple of nights, but it can cause things like low birth rate and birth defects and things like that. So particularly for pregnant moms, I would go with the tried and true holistic remedies of chamomile tea or warm milk versus taking any kind of sleep medication. So that's really it in a nutshell. I know that there's lots of things that cause sleeplessness. It can be worry, it can be just being overly fatigued, But those tips, if you use them, and especially the scheduling of a regular routine with your sleep, as far as a time to go to bed and a time to wake up, you may find that it gives you a better quality of sleep. And if you can get at least 7 hours a night, 7 to 8, you're doing pretty well. And it will definitely help your overall health, stamina, and just the way you feel while you're awake. And that's about it. If there's any questions.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. I did not know that about, well, lettuce, first of all, because hey, we just killed two
Right.
birds with one stone. I can eat healthier and I can go to sleep.
There
I'm
you
doing it.
go. We were on the
Um,
last thing,
I
so.
love that. But also just about, you know, when you wake up and you can't get back to sleep, because I myself have experienced this. And I am the person who just stays in bed and tosses and turns, and 45 minutes later, I am very frustrated and I've lost that much sleep. So why not make it more productive and do something nice for myself, like read a book and get a warm cup of tea? Like that sounds much better than tossing and turning. So thank you for that. I'm gonna try that out.
Sure.
So that sort of is, in a nutshell, our holiday wellness tips. And you've heard all of us talk about nurse coaching. So I want to address that a little bit. All these amazing ladies are nurse coaches. We are all members of PrimeHealthRN. I'm going to share a screen here. So it's November 17th, 2024. That's today. And this presentation is about taking charge of your health. So we want you to create many meaningful health solutions with personalized nurse coaching. That is our goal. We want you to feel better. So what is nurse coaching? Most people have not heard of nurse coaching, and usually the response we get is, oh, so you coach nurses? May sound that way, but no, that's not what we do. We do occasionally work with nurses, but not to coach about nursing. We are actually a subspecialty within the nursing profession. So we have a license to practice nursing, but we have also received specialized training in health and wellness coaching. That's what makes us nurse coaches. We work with you to create personalized solutions to address a wide array of health issues. So no matter what you're facing, we can work with you to create a plan that will get you on the road to better health. Because we don't want you to have to go to the doctor's office every month or go to urgent care because you have things going on with your health issue and you don't know how to manage it. We want you to enjoy your life. So we take the time to truly listen to your needs and preferences. This is something that is sorely lacking in healthcare today, and most of you have experienced this. You go to the doctor's office, you have 15 minutes with the doctor. In that 15 minutes, you have to explain to the doctor what the issue is. The doctor has to do a quick assessment. They have to create a treatment plan and explain to you what the treatment plan is and medications if they're going to prescribe them. 15 minutes. That's not enough time. You really need more time to dive in to what these issues are, what may be some of the root causes, and some real meaningful solutions. So that's what we do. We create a plan that's tailored just to you. This is not cookie cutter medicine. We are not saying, oh, you have high blood pressure, take that pill, do that exercise, there you go, you're done. We're really taking the time to listen to you and work with you. Just like Amanda Wilson was saying, like, we need to take steps that work with your preferences, because I can't tell you to have a vegan diet. If you're not going to do that, then why would I tell you to do that? That's not going to work for you. So how is nurse coaching different? All nurse coaches have completed nursing education and licensure, which means you can trust that you are getting sound health advice from an expert. In case you didn't know this, the coaching industry is not regulated. So that means literally anyone out there can call themselves a health coach. Do you know who you're going to for advice? We want to provide a place for you to go so that you know you're getting sound advice from people who know your health. We're all nurses. We know your health, and we know the things that we can recommend that are safe and effective, and the things we really shouldn't recommend because maybe with your condition, that's not a safe thing for you to be doing. Nurse coaches typically have 2 to 4 years of experience in nursing. A lot of us have a lot more. That's the baseline for certification in nurse coaching before becoming a health coach. So in order to sit for board certification, you either have to have an associate's degree with 4 years of experience or a bachelor's degree with 2 years. So they're not just throwing a new grad nurse at you to give you health advice. We have been trained in evidence-based coaching methods, and we know effective strategies to guide you to optimum health. There are some things that work and some things that don't, and that's what we do in our coaching training. We learn those strategies that work to help move people along that spectrum and not just keep them stuck in one place. So how do I find a nurse coach? Y'all are amazing. How do I find a nurse coach? So I want to guide you to the website. It's www.PrimeHealthRN.com. You can search by specialty so that you're matched with a nurse coach who knows how to work with whatever thing you're trying to deal with. All the nurse coaches at PrimeHealthRN are fully credentialed, and that ensures that you're working with a professional who prioritizes your best interest. Do you offer free consultations? Yes, we do. So right now, 100% of our nurse coaches, not only will they offer a free consultation, some of the nurse coaches even offer a free introductory session. So what that means is you can sort of get a feel for if this person is going to be a good fit for you. Because we also, as nurse coaches, if I can't help you, I want to explore maybe how I can guide you to somebody who can. I don't want to have you sign up for my services if it's not going to be a good fit, because it doesn't really work out for either of us. You can click, if you want the nurses who offer free services, you can click on the offers free services box on the website to find those providers, and we're going to look at that in a second. Visiting the site is completely free, and you're welcome to explore all of its features without any cost. So you only pay for services that you sign up for. We want you to feel comfortable to sort of look around, see who's on there, and see what we offer. We care about your privacy, so we only store your data if you choose to book a session with one of our nurse coaches. And the reason is we sort of have to process that service, we have to save your data, but we're not going to be spamming people's emails just because they came to the website. We are professionals. Can I use HSA or FSA funds? Yes, you can. So we will work with you and your provider to help you get pre-approval for nurse coaching. Oftentimes, it's just a matter of getting a letter of medical necessity and submitting it to your HSA or FSA administrator. Once they've approved it, then you book a service and you can actually use your FSA or HSA card directly on the website. Nurse coaching is an excellent way to put your tax-free funds to work while you achieve real lasting results for your health. So I want to show you the website real quick so that you know what you're looking at if you're going to the right place. This is our website, a little bit about us. If you want, you can search right here on the very front page. A lot of our coaches do both group coaching and one-on-one, so you can choose whatever you're most comfortable with, in person or virtual. And then if you scroll down, you can find whatever area you need help with. So if you want to have somebody help you with the holiday stress, here we are. You can find a coach that deals with that. When you come down here, you'll see all the coaches who offer services dealing with stress. This is Amanda Wilson. She was just on the call, so we'll go to hers. And then you can scroll down here and you can book one of her services. She has a nutritional wellness service that she offers for free, and that's sort of to get a baseline and see how she can help you. So that's pretty much it. And if you guys have questions, I'm gonna put this back up here. This is the website. There's a contact information at the bottom of the website. It's basically just primehealthrn@gmail.com. If you have questions, feel free to email. And we're so happy that we were able to bring you these holiday tips, and we hope you guys have a happy and less stressful holiday season. Thank you so much.